ACC men's soccer here on a rainy Friday night from Thompson Field. It's the Virginia Tech Hokies playing host to the number 7 ranked Syracuse Orange. Hi, hello, and welcome into the broadcast booth. 3304 Sports here with you. Will Locklin joined alongside by Robert Bateman. And Robert, we have a very action-packed matchup in store for us tonight in the form of Virginia Tech and Syracuse. Both teams coming off a loss, but really overall for the season on two different trajectories.
Yeah, Syracuse coming in as the number 7th ranked team in all of men's soccer. They have been absolutely flying around the field this season. Their only loss was in their last game against UVA, and they played with 10 men for basically the whole game. Giorgio Koveski getting a red card in the 21st minute really hindered them in that performance, so they did end up losing 1-0. Whereas Virginia Tech, on the other hand, this season is not what they would have hoped for. They're coming into this game at 1-7-1. Their last game they lost 3-1 to Davidson, and quite honestly, they just can't seem to figure things out right now. But a win here tonight could get them on the right track to finish the season out strong.
Yeah, absolutely. As you said, Virginia Tech, they're certainly looking for a momentum boost to really get the season back on track. They're 1-7-1. And on the other end, Syracuse is 7-1-1. And for Virginia Tech, the lone win came here at Thompson Field against a 4-0 victory over Longwood on September 20th. Goal scored by Hensley Flores and Connor Pugh with 2 goals in that game as well. But since then, they've fallen on the road to NC State and then also on the road to Davidson. But the last time they were here, did get the win, and for Syracuse, excellent until this past loss against Virginia. And as you said, we're playing with 10 men in that game, so a tough break. But they had a couple ranked wins, one in the form of a 1-0 win over number 22 Notre Dame earlier this month. And then, of course, the big 2-1 victory for Syracuse was against number 1 Clemson on their own home turf. And that was a big-time victory that really vaulted Syracuse up into the rankings. As we're get going here, starting lineups about to be announced. Read out the starting lineups here. First for Syracuse, it'll be Christian Curdy, Adby Salem, Noah Singelman, Buster Schweisberg, Olu Ungule, Nathan Opoku, Levante Johnson, Anthony Sinclair, Colin Biros, and Giona Leopold. And then in goal, it's Russell Shaley. And for Virginia Tech, Jack Deary, Cameron Joyce, Grant Howard, Kyle McDowell, Connor Pugh, Declan Quill, Maiola Kanua, Masai Yoshizawa, Connor Hensley, Danny Flores, and then in goal for Virginia Tech is Ben Martino. As we're just a few minutes away from kickoff here, and we'll have the start and first half of this Virginia Tech Syracuse matchup right up next. And we return here on 3304 Sports. Once again, Thompson Field, the site of tonight's ACC men's soccer matchup between the number 7 ranked Syracuse Orange and the home team for the Virginia Tech Hokies. Virginia Tech looking for a major upset win. Both teams are coming off losses, as we've mentioned, but Syracuse on a much better trajectory so far for the season.
Yeah, but you know what? The Hokies, they have a chance here tonight. With Giorgio Koveski getting that red card last game, he's out for tonight. And on top of that, Syracuse is showing a little bit of a different starting lineup than we're used to. Some of the guys who are really mainstays in this team, like Julio Fulcar, Kurt Karlov, Julius Rausch, they're not getting the start tonight. They're starting some other guys. You're going to see Levante Johnson step in, Colin Biros. So things are going to look a little different. And I'm curious to see if that's just Syracuse wanting to get some other guys minutes against a team that they know is not as strong this year, or if they're just, quite frankly, playing down Virginia Tech. So if the Hokies can come out and score one quick, this game, the tides can turn very quickly.
Absolutely. As you said, Robert, in our pregame stand-up, really muddy up this game. And, the conditions in terms of the weather have kind of subsided for now. Not raining currently, but it has been really all day here in Blacksburg. And a lot here on the East Coast is obviously the remnants of the tropical storm that is Hurricane Ian, been making their way through Florida, North Carolina, and even on here into Blacksburg, Virginia. So here we go, now just seconds away from the kick. That's Virginia Tech playing host to Syracuse here at Thompson Field. It'll be Yoshizawa here at center to take the first kick. And the The ref blows his whistle, and Yoshizawa gets it on. And we are underway here in Blacksburg. As now Kanua racing up the center. He'll pass it over to Declan Quill over on the left touchline, and it'll be kicked on out of bounds by a Syracuse Orange. It's now Virginia Tech throw in over. That's Kanua passing it on over to Quill. Quill looking to cross it into the box, but it's taken away by Syracuse and kicked on out of bounds. So another throw in for the Hokies. Tech to throw in once again. A big-time hurl up into the center that's kicked out of play. But Virginia Tech retaining possession of the scrum forward in the middle. Syracuse looking to break through. Kicked on over the center. That's going to be Yoshizawa. Has a chance at it. He fires on goal, but it is stopped there by Sheely. As Virginia Tech, the aggressors early on, definitely had a couple of opportunities, but were unable to convert.
Yeah, Will, this is what Virginia Tech needs to do if they want to win this game. They cannot let Syracuse get sustained possession, and they just need to almost keep the ball in the air and just make things a mess out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Now Syracuse back with possession. Stolen away by Hokie for momentarily, but now crossed back into the center circle. Syracuse looking to usher in their offense, but it's kicked off a little too far, and so the Hokies goalkeeper, Ben Martino, will corral it and kick it back into play, looking to give Virginia Tech a chance to set up their offense.
Well, let's keep in mind, the last time this Virginia Tech team played a ranked squad, it was against Wake Forest, who's actually ranked #1. And they looked really solid in that game. They only ended up losing 1-0. So if they can play like that once again here tonight, they have a really big chance to win this game and get a massive upset over Syracuse.
Absolutely. Ball kicked out of play along the far touchline. Hokies will throw in. This would be McDowell. Throw it in. McDowell grabs it momentarily. He'll kick it back over to Deary, who crosses over to Grant Howard along the near touchline here. Howard kicking it all over to Flores. Flores working in the midfield, and he'll cross it over momentarily to Yoshizawa, who gets back possession. That's McDowell who crosses it in. Possession, chance for the Hokies, and the shot is just wide into the hands of Sheely. An opportunity there for Virginia Tech once again, but Syracuse makes out like bandits.
Yeah, Virginia Tech, they've looked really solid right now, and honestly, they've had the upper hand in this match. Syracuse has not been able to have sustained possession, and Virginia Tech is pressing right now, so they can't even play the ball short. So they're really going to make Syracuse play direct, which doesn't suit them well.
Yeah, just a couple minutes in, Virginia Tech holding their own, but still obviously a long way to go. As now the ball is being kicked in on the Hokies defending third. Syracuse yet to really set up efficient offense in their attacking zone. Ball kicked out, and it will be a throw-in for the Orange. Syracuse moving the ball around, trying to cross it. That one is blocked by McDowell, and it will retain Syracuse possession with another throw-in along the far touchline in their attacking zone. It's kicked into play. Syracuse, a shot on goal, a ricochet just past Martino on the left side. Opportunity for Syracuse, but it was lucky a Hokie was there to tip it out.
Yeah, some good connection right there. Opoku receiving the throw and giving it off to Levante Johnson. That ball bobbles out to Anthony Sinclair, and he has a go, takes a deflection, unable to stay on target, but Syracuse finds themselves with a corner. And with the likes of Booster Schoberg and Abzi Salim, they have a lot of height in that box.
Absolutely. It's a corner kick for Syracuse. It's kicked in, and out of play there was Jack Deary to deflect it out along the far touchline. And so the Hokies looking to clear the ball out of their defending zone. Syracuse retains possession. That was Curdy who kicked it along near the red flag on the far touchline. And so Ben Martino will now kick the ball in. So there'll be a reset here in play. Early on, Virginia Tech. We said it's been a struggle for them this season, but they're coming out with really nothing to lose, as they should here against a top 10 ranked Syracuse team, as Ben Martino lifts it back into play along the midfield. And Danny Flores for Virginia Tech looking to get it, but that's one stolen out by Opoku. And Opoku now charging along the right side. He kicks it along for Syracuse. It's going to be a cross in the middle. A header, but unable to convert as Virginia Tech stands strong on defense. It was Grant Howard just deflecting it out.
Nathan Opoku, a guy you're going to be saying the name of a lot tonight, Will. He is really one of the difference makers on this Syracuse team. He's the type of player who can receive the ball with the man on his back, create space. He creates space off the ball as well. He picks it up, he drops into the midfield to receive the ball. He's kind of everywhere between the middle third and the final third for the Syracuse Orange. Expect him to be on the ball a lot and really creating and almost running the offense for Syracuse.
Absolutely. As Opoku, certainly the orchestrator of the Syracuse offense. Now the ball is being kicked back into the middle. Game of hot potato there. Syracuse ends up with it. That one's Curdy, who's running along the left side. He's doing some fancy dribble moves, trying to get open. He clears it over, and it one is off the post. Nearly a goal, as there was a collision, and a Hokie is down along the green fence just past the goal. That one was a big-time collision, and luckily so, because otherwise could have been a goal for Syracuse. So you see the replay, just looked like the knee of
Kurt Kalov.
Yeah, Kalov for Syracuse, and it was McDowell for Virginia Tech. Got tangled up there. So both teams with some sharp opportunities thus far, but neither has converted. As the ball is kicked back into play by Martino, and now Syracuse players tripped up on the far touchline. Syracuse will retain possession. It's now kicked into the center touchline, as that's Leopold, who had it momentarily, but now it was taken away by Flores. Flores kicks it just out of bounds. A little too far. The ref blows his whistle and issues it is Virginia Tech ball. The physicality really ramping up here at Thompson Field as Flores now kick it back to his defenseman and Deary. Deary trying to have a centering pass in the front. Unable to do so. It's now kicked along the far touchline. It looks like Yoshizawa had possession for a moment, but loses it, goes back out of bounds, and so it'll be a Virginia Tech throw-in. Trying to establish some chemistry there in the easy touch line as Cameron Joyce kicked it over to Quill. Now there's a cross in the center, but kicked out by an Orange.
So far, Virginia Tech's done a great job at just winning second balls. I mean, there's been a lot of tackles where it's a 50-50 ball and it pops out. It's really kind of anyone's to grab, and Virginia Tech seems to be winning almost all of them so far, and that's why we see them hanging around so well and finding themselves with a corner kick right here.
Absolutely. Virginia Tech corner kick. It will be Danny Flores by the looks of it to kick in for the Hokies. Their first corner kick of today's contest. So Flores to kick in. He does so. It's kicked along in the center, but Syracuse able to clear it out. And now charging up down the field is Opoku, but it's stolen away there by Grant Howard. So great recovery there by Virginia Tech's defenseman and Grant Howard.
Grant Howard's a player who I constantly say is Virginia Tech's best player on the field in most games. He's a freshman, plays right back. He's absolutely rapid, and he finds his way up and down the field constantly, and really is a main focal point of the Virginia Tech defense, and he's only a freshman, like I said, so he's got a lot of time ahead of him, and I'm very excited to see what he can do with it.
Absolutely. The Virginia Tech freshmen have played a big role on this team all year. As now Virginia Tech, once again, trying to stop their offense, but Syracuse looking to clear momentarily is now Declan Quill with possession, trying to kick it into the middle, turns back momentarily now, slicing up with it is Connor Pugh. Pugh looks like he hit it off his own man as Flores goes down hard. It's hit in the face, so there'll be a stop of play.
Looks like the trainer's coming out. I can say from experience as a soccer player, taking a clearance off the face is a very, very painful feeling. So hopefully Flores is all right. We'll be right back to you after he gets up and they make sure he's okay.
Welcome back here to 3304 Sports. It's been a momentary break as Danny Flores, sophomore midfielder from Virginia Tech, was drilled in the face. It's a rainy one here from Thompson Field, and that ball definitely getting heavier, and so he was just hit in the wrong area along his face by Olengole. Certainly not something you like to see, and we'll see who Virginia Tech brings in as a sub as he's gingerly walking off the field. Was down for a couple minutes, and the trainers had to come give him a look. So we hope Flores is all right for Virginia Tech, and certainly a big loss as he is one of their best players.
Looks like it's going to be Nick Blacklock coming in for Flores, number 17 for the Hokies.
Yeah, Nick Blacklock, the senior midfielder from Hellertown, Pennsylvania. He's had 7 starts this year with 12 shots and an assist. And this will be his 43 starts overall in his Virginia Tech career. So one of the more experienced players on this Hokies roster comes in. Now it'll be a Syracuse throw-in. This play looking to get back started. 35 minutes remain in the first half of play in a 0-0 ball game as Syracuse throws it in over to Opoku. Stolen away there by Grant Howard. It's now Howard splits defenders, getting fancy, and it's still Virginia Tech ball. It's a great job there by Grant Howard. As you mentioned, Robert, you think he's Virginia Tech's best player. Just a fantastic freshman. Takes that ball away from Opoku and sets up an opportunity for Virginia Tech.
Yeah, and he really does have it all. He's got the explosiveness you need to be a solid right back. His endurance is incredible. He's up and down the whole game. Against Wake Forest, I mistook him for a right winger for most of the game because he was up so high on offense, but he always made it back to defense as well.
Absolutely. As Quill throws in, it's now Yoshizawa trying to cross it over. It's Connor Pugh. Kicks it back to McDowell. McDowell, a crossing kick into the center. Shot there by Connor Hensley, but deflected off a Syracuse player. Be out of bounds. It's now Virginia Tech an opportunity with a corner kick once again. Their second of today's match. Virginia Tech corner kick. Ball is in the air and headed on by multiple players, but looks like there was a ref blew his whistle. Potentially as Connor Pugh went down, hit the turf hard. And so Syracuse goalkeeper Shaley will kick it back into play from his box. Shaley, one of the best goalkeepers in the ACC, a big reason why Syracuse, their defense has been so excellent this year, as they have allowed the least amount of goals on average and overall for the season in the ACC. As Shaley's kick. Now Syracuse has possession with it in the middle. Syracuse looking to set up their own offense, but it's cleared away by Virginia Tech. Back in the center, Pugh battling for it, and now it's going to be Leopold who will get it along, pass it along to Opoku, but unsuccessfully. As Hensley gains possession for Virginia Tech. Stolen away now by Syracuse. It's Opoku making moves in the center, trying to set it up. Shot off line there by Curdy. But Syracuse looks to kick it back into the box and set something up. It's kicked out of bounds by a Hokie. Syracuse will throw it back in. Now Syracuse really fighting back. Virginia Tech's been the aggressors, but Syracuse obviously going with a bit of an oddball lineup, at least compared to what they normally do. As it's kicked back into play now, crossed over into the center, but headed back to where it came from. Crossed back once again as Ben Martino charges in and makes the save, and he hurls it back over to Declan Quill along the left touchline, who's making moves there on the far side. Kicks it back into the Syracuse attacking zone. Now the ref blows his whistle. And it'll stop play. So Syracuse now with possession. Syracuse to get their own offense started. But stolen away is McDowell charging into the center circle. Passes back to Hensley. Hensley with this playing with McDowell. McDowell crossing it over to Kanua. Now Kanua gets along the center. So Virginia Tech with good ball movement here, trying to set something up. Yoshizawa trying to charge into the box, but it's stolen away by Syracuse. Now it's Levante Johnson making moves versus Grant Howard. That's certainly a matchup to watch. Two of the best players on their respective teams. Battle is won by Syracuse as they have possession currently. Ball being kicked along in the center, and it will go out of bounds.
Will, I will say the lack of Giorgio Koveski in that Syracuse midfield is very evident. He's the kind of guy for this Syracuse team who gets on the ball, he holds it, he scans the whole field when he has it, and 9 times out of 10 makes the best pass possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, he was issued a red card in this last and Syracuse lone loss of the season against UVA, and it was costly as Syracuse had to play with 10 men for the rest of the game. Issued that in midway through the first period, and so it certainly played a factor. Not only just having one man down, but also to lose such an important guy in Koshevsky, and he's not in the game obviously for Syracuse, suspended for 1 game due to the red card, and so now Syracuse ball being kicked back into play along our touchline in the midfield. So Connor Pugh nearly had a breakaway with it. Maybe an opportunity to play the numbers game for Virginia Tech, but they can't take advantage as the pass is a little too strong from Nick Blacklock.
Very well done by Labeled there to be able to track back and get that interception. If he doesn't get a touch on that ball, Virginia Tech's looking at an easy breakaway.
Opoku tried to get it into Johnson, but it's kicked back to Kanua. Scrum forward on the near center line. It's Yoshizawa for Virginia Tech. And Declan Quill trying to get a breakaway of their own, but unsuccessfully as Shealy looks to set up a teammate with a fit in favorable position, as now that's Levante Johnson who has it kicked along over into the Virginia Tech's defending box. Ben Martino will kick it back into play, but play has been stopped. And Syracuse still with possession. Being kicked around, it's Berrios. And now Opoku has a breakaway, a shot on goal, but it's going to be wide and high. Opoku had a shot matched up there with Grant Howard, but a little bit too high and far.
I like that attempt from Opoku, though, to try and chip Ben Martino. He's been off his line a lot, and Opoku knows that, being a clever forward as he is. So he gets the lucky bounce off of Grant Howard to receive the ball again at the edge of the box. And why not try to chip Ben Martino and see, and if that gets over his head, it's a goal. It's off target that time. Maybe he tries again later. Maybe Ben Martino stays more disciplined on his line. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, we'll certainly see. This will be a game of cat and mouse between Ben Martino and the strikers, Johnson and Opoku for Syracuse. This ball is being kicked back into center. Now Leopold with a chance to cross it along, and he will, but there's a hokey there to deflect it out of play. Set up a Syracuse corner kick. A Syracuse throw-in. So now Syracuse with a cross, but another header out of play, cleared momentarily. Virginia Tech defense trying to stand strong best they can. But unrelenting are the Syracuse Orange, as Opoku will kick it back to Olongele. So Syracuse move it all around the field, trying to set up the most favorable position to be the first strikers in the goals column here. Still a 0-0 score, 27:07 left in the first half of plays. It's being kicked along. Syracuse opportunities are mounting Virginia Tech's defense is bending, but not breaking yet. We'll have Syracuse corner kick by the looks of it. So another opportunity for the Orange to draw first blood.
Well, I can't help but wonder what both these coaches are seeing right now. Both of them with 100 wins in their career, and two coaches that have played each other for 9+ seasons. So I'm very interested to see the changes they make coming up soon, as you'll start to see subs coming in at any minute now.
Yeah, Levante Johnson on that corner kick that just happened had just a big-time shot that was just way wide of the net, but it's certainly a powerful strike. Nonetheless, certainly him and Opoku certainly letting Virginia Tech goalkeeper Ben Martino let them know of their presence. We'll see how that matchup plays itself out for the remainder of this game. Virginia Tech now on the counterattack. It's Declan Quill trying to break away, but unsuccessfully so. So Virginia Tech's passing in their own attacking zone hasn't been the best, hasn't been as crisp. They've had maybe some opportunities to set some good offense up, but just maybe one or two passes away from really making it happen.
Yeah, and the loss of Danny Flores is very imminent. They haven't really been able to switch the point of attack at all and get the ball out through the other side using that midfielder. So really everything is just very direct down one side for the Hokies right now.
Absolutely. Throw in for Virginia Tech. Tech trying to set something up. It's McDowell. Can't do so. So that's Hensley. Tries to cross it into Yoshizawa, but it's headed back in the opposite direction. Now Syracuse on the counterattack, headed by a Hokie. And charging on it is Leopold on the other side. Leopold trying to clear it into the center, but Grant Howard once again blocks it. Leopold again, and it's blocked by Howard once again. Double blockage on the part of Grant Howard. And the freshman has been absolutely fantastic. Robert, you've talked about why he once again makes big-time defensive plays. This one's crossed back into the middle. Ben Martino nearly had an opportunity. That was nearly on line. Nearly had to just deflect it away, but it did just pass the left side post. So it will be out of play, and he'll have a free kick out of it. So now Martino will kick it back from the right side of his boxed line. That one headed by Jack Deary out into the center circle. Virginia Tech tied with Syracuse, and you got to think so far, being in a 0-0 tie, success for Virginia Tech, as odds certainly stacked against them, facing a 7-1-1 team in the Orange versus Virginia Tech, who's 1-7-1. There's just been a struggle over the season, as that one's kicked by Connor Pugh, but not online enough for Declan Quill, and Sheely comes to corral it.
Yeah, and Will, like you said, success for the Hokies right now is a great way to put it. They've held very well in this game so far. They haven't really looked like a weaker side at all, which they technically are on paper. So very well done from the Hokies so far.
Now it looks to be Levante Johnson for Syracuse. Syracuse with a bit of a numbers advantage, but Jack Deary will clear it out momentarily for Tech. Syracuse with possession once again. Leopold charging, but it will go out of bounds. So Grant Howard will throw in to Hensley along the left touch line. Yoshizawa now has it in center. Yoshizawa gets it to Blacklock, moving it to McDowell. Tech trying to do their best to set something up, but seems like Syracuse always in the right place at the right time to reject. This one kicked all the way to head. Now Opoku with it. Opoku versus Howard, a big-time matchup to watch. Tries to cross it into Johnson. Unable to do so, and Curdy was there too. Ben Martino now grabs it. So we'll try and once again put Tech in a favorable position on offense. As Virginia Tech Hokies were the aggressor in the first few minutes, but since then Syracuse really shut down a lot of their opportunities besides a couple of corner kicks. Yoshizawa now has it in middle of the Tech's attacking zone, but not for long as the ball goes back to their Syracuse goalkeeper, Sheely. Sheely will kick it all the way out of bounds.
I think a lot of why Syracuse is seeing success right now as far as having numbers around the ball is the 5-3-2 they're playing. In the midfield, the Hokies also are playing a 3-5-2. So things kind of line up unevenly for Syracuse, but with the Hokies wingers stepping so high up, it almost makes it a 3v3 in the midfield, and Syracuse, quite honestly, has better midfielders than the Hokies, so they're able to just run things through the middle of the field, whereas the Hokies have struggled to play in and out.
That's a good point, partner. Certainly the strategic advantage with Syracuse. It makes sense as to why. Is the rain really coming down here at Thompson Field? Wasn't at first. Crowd on hands, certainly not the best, but with the rain it makes sense as to why. As Johnson tried to get it into a Poku. Now Syracuse still with possession. It's being worked into center. But Kanua comes to clear it out, and so Virginia Tech will start on their counterattack. Passed along, angling, tried to get it to Connor Pugh, but Syracuse defense kicks it back to Shaley, who booms one around to center.
Will, I did just notice Danny Flores is back on the field. That's a great sign to see, especially after the injury he sustained earlier. It's good to see him back out there and playing again.
Yeah, absolutely. Danny Flores returns for Virginia Tech, and we talked about it certainly misses passing as there's going to be a shot that's getting close to the left side as it looked to be Leopold to try to cross it in one, but as there wasn't really a Virginia Tech striker, or excuse me, a Syracuse striker in the area. We'll set up over an Orange corner kick. But good news for Virginia Tech in the form of Danny Flores returning, who subs in back for Nick Blacklock, who went in for him when he went down with the injury. So corner kick for Syracuse. It's in the air. It's going to be over the net. As Colin Biros in control of it for a moment, but not enough. Get it, and Schwarberg. So another corner kick for Syracuse. Pugh heads it up into the air. Dangerous position for Virginia Tech. Kanua coming in on it for the Hokies. Slings down a Syracuse player for a moment. Schwarberg tries to head one back for Syracuse. It's another bad pass from Kanua, but he was tripped up and fouled. So Tech will remain with possession. Carter Hensley has it. Charging back into the center circle. Kicks it back to Jack Deary. Now to Flores. Flores is a big piece of this Hokies team, and he'll has the important job of really setting up a lot of his teammates. This is Connor Pugh trying to angle it and clear it into the center, but unsuccessfully so. Looks to be a Virginia Tech corner kick now. Set up. Said Danny Flores coming back into the game. 9 starts, 10 including this one, and 3 goals on the year on 22 shots and 2 assists. So this one controlled by McDowell, who throws it into center. Tech trying to get some offense established in their attacking box, but it's now charged along. It's going to be Levante Johnson with a full head of steam ahead. It's his speed on full display. There's going to be a shot and a goal! Leopold gets the Syracuse Orange on the board first. Set up by Levante Johnson. And the Orange finally get that goal that they've been working towards to give them the 1-0 advantage here in Blacksburg.
Yeah, and a massive credit to Levante Johnson there. He gets lucky on the slip by Grant Howard off the deflection. He's able to just run by him. Grant Howard actually somehow recovers himself into the play, but it's not enough because Leibold, who does have him for speed, is able to just take a one-time finish into the side netting of Virginia Tech's goal.
Absolutely. Levante Johnson, as you said to me before on the broadcast, not necessarily a normal starter, but he is today. And, I mean, just the absolute speed and agility on full display as he was charging from really their defending zone all the way into the attacking zone and beautifully sets up Leibold for the goal. So Syracuse responds in a big way. That was a tough angle for Martino to block that one as Leibold coming in from the left side. Martino, they had to just stay centered. And it was a great goal on the part of Leibold to give Syracuse the 1-0 lead. And so with 17:27 to go, Syracuse holds the 1-0 lead here in a rainy and muddy day at Thompson Field. And now this has been a muddy game, and that's what we said Virginia Tech needs to do is Grant Howard's charging with it in the center. But now Virginia Tech, partner, how do you think they have to respond to equalize this before half?
Quite honestly, I want to see Virginia Tech just play the way they've been playing. That goal comes off a counterattack. That's one of those things where, yeah, you always need to have passive defense and, counter security, but one fatal error leads to a goal. In my opinion, though, Virginia Tech, they've looked like the better team so far in a lot of instances on play. So why not just keep doing what you're doing, and sooner or later something will click.
Yeah, absolutely. The Hokies had, talked about the scenario in which they'd win kind of was playing itself out until this last counterattack on the part of Johnson and Leibold, who finished it off with a beautiful goal. So Virginia Tech certainly in need of an equalizing goal, preferably before halftime, but obviously probably be comfortable with only being down one goal considering the quality of Syracuse compared to their own. So Tech now playing a bit conservative with their defenders. Hot potato with it, and now it goes over the far touchline out of bounds.
Looks like Byros going off. And number 11 for the Orange,
Yeah,
Lorenzo Baselli coming in.
Yeah, Baselli in for Syracuse. And for Leibold, it's the second goal of the season on 6 shots. Had 11 starts last year. He was tied for the team high with 5 assists in 2021. But he gets Syracuse going with an early goal to draw first blood. As Yoshizawa trying to control it along the far touchline for the Hokies. Yoshizawa had it momentarily for a second, but taken away by Syracuse. And the opportunities for Virginia Tech outside of this first few minutes and a few corner kicks have been few and far between. Syracuse just doing a beautiful job of taking the ball away as Opoku racing with it. He kicks it back, now gets it back his own miss. A shot on goal, and it's in! No, it's not. That one looked to nearly be in as my eyes kind of deceived me there. Opoku took a massive shot on one. And it had me fooled.
I love how when you notice Opoku really start running, these Syracuse players know if he plays you the ball, he's going to want it right back. Right there, he plays Baselli a ball, who Baselli just gets into this game. And instantly, Baselli just gives him a 1-2 right back to Opoku, and Opoku opens up and has a hit. It's kind of incredible to see how these Syracuse players know that when Nathan Opoku wants to go, you just got to give him the ball and move out of the way.
Absolutely. Virginia Tech tried to set up something, but Sheely comes racing in to stop it.
Sheely, who's having an incredible season as far as goalkeeping goes, only 3 goals allowed on the whole season, and that's a large reason why the Syracuse team has been so successful.
Yeah, absolutely. 22 saves coming into this matchup. The 0.880 save percentage is excellent. Only 5 starts before this season got going. He's just been a stellar goalkeeper. And one of the big reasons Syracuse, along with their defense, has been number 1 in the ACC in terms of goals allowed at the fewest. It's been a big reason why Virginia Tech has been unable to set anything up outside of his first few minutes. So as time winds down, Syracuse holds the 1-0 advantage here at Thompson Field, 13-12 on the clock. It'll be a corner kick for Syracuse. The ball's up in the air. That one kicked along the far touchline. And just out of play, it'll be a throw-in for Syracuse. For the Hokies right now, certainly need to keep it at a 1-0 deficit, as going down by a couple of scores to the quality of team that Syracuse is, number 7 ranked team in the country, with only 1 loss on the year, would be bad news for Virginia Tech. Syracuse bringing on a couple of subs. Now, dangerous game here for Virginia Tech playing. But ball kicked back. Flores battling for it. Now one's kicked along to Leopold, who makes a brilliant move. Charging into center is Leopold. Leopold trying to set up another shot for a second goal, but it is deflected off a Hokie and wide of the net.
You can tell Leopold has a lot of confidence with himself right now after that first goal. Not really a player who tries to dribble guys, but right there he dribbles 2 players and the shot deflected, but it would have been on target if not.
Absolutely, Leopold certainly feeling himself. It's going to be another corner kick for Syracuse. That one kicked out momentarily over to Johnson. Johnson angles it into the center. And one kicked over by Schwarborg. And over to Yoshizawa. Over on the far touchline. Kicks it back into the center circle. Leopold meets it at the point. Headed back by a Hokie in Jack Deary, I believe. And it will go out of bounds and be Hokie's ball with a throw-in. Tech to throw in. 11 minutes remaining in this first half of play. It's bounced off Kanua. Now Syracuse trying to set up more offense. Deflected out. Back into the center. And McDowell angles the ball out of bounds to give Virginia Tech possession. McDowell throws it into Kanua, who passes it back to McDowell. McDowell is met by the chest of a Syracuse player. Now Syracuse trying to set up an offense to make it a 2-0 game. This one's stolen by the Hokies in the form of Danny Flores. Flores going to do some fancy moves in the middle. This one's kicked into the center. Yeah, I think for Virginia Tech, they just have not been able to set up any offensive opportunities. Really just want to keep this a 1-0 game, as it looks based on the momentum of this game. Maybe try in the second half for an opportunity for an equalizing goal.
Yeah, ever since Syracuse brought on some fresh legs with those substitutions, Virginia Tech has really been unable to get into Syracuse's half, and Syracuse is just kind of out-pressuring them off the ball.
Yeah, Kalov and Pagano have come in, as well as Baselli, who came in minutes earlier. Certainly fresh legs for Syracuse and for Tech. Zion Ahmed and Daniel Starr have come into the game, as now this one's kicked over into the Syracuse. But the Hokies grab the ball back. It's Kanua. For a moment, he'll pass it back to, looks to be McDowell in the center. Now Flores with it. Flores with a charging kick, but it's met by Sheely with an acrobatic kick at that. Ball back in the hands of, back in the legs of Kanua. Opportunity now for the Hokies. Virginia Tech, a cross over to Declan Quill. There's a scrum for it near the goal. Sheeler and Virginia Tech will end up with it. It was Quill. Now Kanua angling it towards the far touchline, looking to have a crossing kick. Stopped by Syracuse, though, as Virginia Tech got the opportunity that maybe they could have taken advantage of. But Syracuse will stop, and now they'll draw with their own counterattack, and then it's going to be a foul. It looks like Quill tripped up
That was a brilliant chance for the Hokies, just unable to connect on that final pass. And a lot of that's credit to these Syracuse defenders. Their ability to recover and the speed they have in that back line is absolutely incredible with the likes of Schoberg, Salim, and Oliangulye.
Yeah, absolutely. So Syracuse trying to set something up for themselves to make it a 2-0 game. But Flores will kick it out and still be Syracuse ball. Is just under 8 minutes remaining in a 1-0 game. So Nick Blacklock will come back in as a substitution. Remember, he came back in for an injury substitution when Flores hit the turf hard after being planted with a ball to the face, rather. Flores has returned to the game, and now Nick Blacklock will come in as well. In addition to Ahmed and Starr, who have been subs for Virginia Tech. So play slowing down a bit here. Throw in for Tech. One's met by Schwarberg, who will kick it over just past Tech's box, and so Ben Martino will corral it and kick it back into play. Partner, like you said, the opportunities have been few and far between for Virginia Tech. Did have one there. Do you think they can maybe set something up similar to that?
Yeah, like I mentioned before the game, they really just need to make this game messy. And the reason they really lost control of it is because Syracuse was able to adapt to that. So now, why not switch things up? Give them a different look. Maybe play more direct instead of trying to build out of the back, because that just hasn't been working.
Syracuse with an opportunity to pounce on one, but high in the air, Ben Martino grabs it, as it wasn't a clean look for the Orange. Still, you got to think for the Hokies, a win has to be getting out of this first half only down 1-0.
Yeah, no, and you can definitely consider that a win, but with how the Hokies have been playing, they'll probably be frustrated that they haven't gotten something to go yet. They've had 3 really solid chances in this first half, and in these next 5 minutes, they might find themselves with another.
Yeah, absolutely. Syracuse certainly had their chances, and maybe Tech a little bit lucky to only come away with 1 goal allowed so far, and you got to think Virginia Tech kicking themselves for not converting on one of their few opportunities, because they have had, when they've gotten those opportunities, they've had good ones to strike and have been unable to do so. So clock winds to 5.5 minutes left to play. Syracuse kick it in. So it's kicked in by Syracuse. Schwarberg tries to angle one, but is going to be met by Virginia Tech and McDowell. So broken up by the Hokies for a moment. Syracuse stolen back by Virginia Tech. Flores, who got tripped up, and the ref will blow his whistle. So now Tech looking to have one substitution come in possibly late into this game, but not quite yet. So Flores will kick it back in for Virginia Tech. It's Jack Deary in the middle. Along the center circle, he'll pass it, but it is met by Syracuse. Syracuse, being the aggressors, trying to equalize, but no. It'll be stolen back by Jack Deary. Now Deary over to Flores. Flores kicks it along the far side. This one's angled over into the middle towards Sheary, but ref blows his whistle to stop play. It's now 4 minutes remaining in this first half from a muggy and rainy Thompson Field. Rain still coming out. Partner, not too many fans were here really until like 10 minutes before kickoff. And our Sandman music played, but there was really hardly anyone to jump.
Yeah, well, a lot of umbrellas out there now. The fans definitely showing out for what is a big matchup. I'm not too surprised since it has been a frequent downpour the whole game, but still good to see some fans make an appearance.
So Zion Ahmed angling it into the middle now towards the far touchline. Tech trying to get one more chance. Looks to be Starr who had it momentarily, but it's stolen away by Syracuse. The Orange trying to set something up. It's Leopold who will cross one in, and all the way Martino with an excellent save to deflect. Hokies get away with one there. It's now Oloyongle. Gets one back to Syracuse with another opportunity with 3 minutes remaining. Tech just trying to survive and get out of this first half, only down 1-0. Kicked out of bounds. It looks to be Tech goalkeeper Ben Martino will kick it back into play for Virginia Tech.
Kyle McDowell has really done a great job tonight against Christian Curdy. Both of them being seniors, they've definitely played against each other before, and really neither getting the best of the other. Just a very solid matchup on that right and left side, respectfully.
So there's Jordan Black now, the substitution for Virginia Tech. Sophomore defenseman from Woodbridge, Virginia. So Syracuse with 2 minutes now in this first half will kick it from midfield. Met by Virginia Tech momentarily. Flores has it along the far touch line, but he's tripped up by Syracuse. Syracuse now on a counterattack. Trying to strike again and really put a stranglehold on Virginia Tech here at home, but Zion Ahmed breaks it up. He passes it all over to Jordan Black. Jordan Black now the fresh substitution for Virginia Tech. He gets by a Syracuse player for a moment, but cannot get the ball back. So it looks to be Ahmed now trying to cross it in. Ahmed with an opportunity. Zion Ahmed shoots, but is offline as it was deflected 5 feet in front of him by Syracuse. And now Syracuse trying to set up another counterattack. Hokies will have to retreat quickly. Let's kick back. Jack Deary over crosses and deflected by Ben Martino. So no goal for the Orange.
It's a great shot there by Cheech Pagano, though. Just having a go. He finds himself at the edge of the 6, and right there, you don't really have much of an angle. Really, all you can do is try and beat the goalie near post. He gives it a go, sees what Ben Martino's made of, and Ben Martino able to make a great stop there.
Just under a minute left in this first half. It's a corner kick for Syracuse. Probably one of their last opportunities of this first half. About 30 seconds left now. Here's the kick in the corner. It one's headed. Great save made by Martino. This was a header at the top shelf center part of the net that was blocked by Martino and ricocheted right on top of the goal. So the Hokies escape with that one once again due to the great goalkeeping of Ben Martino. Another header. This one just to the left of the net. Another missed opportunity there for Syracuse.
Will, Christian Curdy has to be fuming with himself. That's 2 wide open headers that he's unable to finish. The first one a great save by Ben Martino. The second one just out wide. Christian Curdy does well to get to both of them, but unable to finish on either.
That's the end of the first half now as Christian Curdy, as you mentioned, had an opportunity to give Syracuse a 2-0 lead, but was unable to do so. And Virginia Tech really, frankly, escapes out of this first half. With only down 1-0, the opportunities have been few and far between for the Hokies. But the one goal for Syracuse on the part of Leopold, number 17 for Syracuse, with the assist from Levante Johnson. We'll have the second half here. Robert Bateman, my partner, will take over for play-by-play, and I'll be on color commentary. Will Locklin here. And we'll have that second half for you in just a few moments. See you then.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to 3304 Sports. I'm Robert Bateman. Alongside me, Will Locklin. Your score right now at half is Syracuse 1, Virginia Tech 0. But from the actual play side of things, it looked quite even. Syracuse does dominate the stat sheet, though. The starting lineups for Tech will be the same starting lineup that they started the game with. Ben Martino in goal, Jack Deary, Grant Howard, and Kyle McDowell as your defenders. Joyce, Quill, Kinua, Flores, and Hensley in the midfield, and then Pugh up top with Yoshizawa. Whereas for the Orange, it's also going to be the same starting lineup that they started off with Russell Shealy in goal, and then Curdy, Salim, Singleman, Schoberg, and Oyunji are going to be your defenders, labeled also in the defense. And then you're going to have in the midfield Sinclair, Byros, and labeled as listed as a midfielder, but he mostly will be a left wing back. And then up top, you will have Johnson and Opoku. So those are your starting lineups for the second half. Will, what do you expect to see out of the Hokies trying to come back into this game?
Well, I think they have to really carry on that aggression they had at the beginning of the first half and really the tail end of it. They've had not too many opportunities, but the ones they've had have been really golden opportunities, and they have not been able to convert. So really just have to get the luck of a few bounces and equalize this game early.
And so Syracuse kicks things off. It's Sinclair with it. He tries to go to Kalov, but it's picked off by number 7, Quill. And now it's Grant Howard with it. Grant Howard, a player I've talked very highly of throughout this whole game. Grant Howard taking his space. He crosses half field, still going. Ball inside, slips on it. Schoberg able to receive it. And Oyunjuli plays over to Levante Johnson and ends up bobbling to. Johnson picked up a headband at halftime. Interesting show of fashion. And Abdi Salim tries to play forward to Opoku, picked off by McDowell. Kalov picks it up for the Orange, turns it over, and it will be Yoshizawa in the midfield to slow things down for the Hokies. He's able to find Quill. Quill goes inside to Flores. Flores, bad touch, able to stay with it. And Flores recycles it all the way back to Deary. Deary's going to go to Howard, and the Hokies will slow things down once again, sustaining some possession early on. Grant Howard drives down the line, finds Yoshizawa in the middle. Strong tackle from Sinclair. Ball played forward to Opoku. He holds it up against Deary. Able to get by Deary. Now Opoku drives down past the ACC marker, but number 6, Joyce, makes a strong tackle and able to clear that one away.
Partner, the rain is just absolutely howling down here at Thompson Field. Beginning in this game, it wasn't too bad. It kind of subsided, but as this game's gone along, it's become more and more of a factor. As we've seen more slippages from players. Grant Howard was one who slipped on that goal from Leopold. Wasn't able to keep up with Johnson, and we've seen as well as players have hit the deck, and when they do, it's a little bit harder just because of the rain.
Yeah, and the rain also making the numbers pretty hard to see from up here in the booth, but the show must go on. Opoku has it now. He flips it over to Levante Johnson. He heads it down to Byros. Byros turns, tries to beat a defender. He does. Deary able to make back up to it, and now it's Kalov with it on the right wing. Kalov scans, taking his time. He plays it back to Anthony Sinclair. Sinclair goes back to Kalov. Kalov, bad touch. That one rolls out of bounds. Kyle McDowell will get a throw-in for the Hokies. Kalov clearly not happy with himself as he just has a mental lapse there.
Yeah, a bit of a careless mistake just with the feet, and one that he certainly would want back. So Hokies with an opportunity to capitalize.
And McDowell's going to throw this one in all the way to Quill. Quill tries to flick it on. Abdi Salim called for a handball as he had his hands up trying not to commit a foul. He's pleading his case to the ref with no luck to get that call changed. McDowell plays quickly to Flores. Flores turns. He's able to find Deary. Deary goes back to Martino. Back to Deary. Deary turns. Lots of space here. They break that first line well. Deary with a big ball just as far as Salim. Salim, bad touch. Kalov able to keep it in and clears that one off of McDowell. Ball still in. McDowell comes away with it. And a foul will be called on Yoshizawa against number 4 for the Orange, Noah Singleman. So Syracuse will have a free kick at just about half field. Schoberg will be taking it. Schoberg gets this one back in play, tries to play it down to the corner. Opoku takes that touch off his chest. Kalov unable to get to it. It's Deary to it first. Deary dribbling a couple Orange players. He's able to find Quill. Quill turns, but Leopold coming all the way from the left side into the midfield. Ball still going forward. Back to Yoshizawa. Bad pass. And now it's number 12. Scratch that, number 13 for the Hokies, Hensley. Now it's over with Flores on the left side. Flores tries to play it in. Sinclair able to clear away. That Flores-Sinclair matchup in the midfield has been a very solid one to watch all night. They've been going back and forward.
Absolutely. As the opportunities for Virginia Tech, as we've talked about, haven't been all there too much. And, the avenues to a win for Virginia Tech was really to have this be a muddied-up game, a dirty and grimy one at that. And that's what it is right now, but the problem is Virginia Tech, they're not tied and they don't have the lead. They're down by 1. So, not favorable position.
McDowell, long throw in, cleared away by Curdy, but just as far as the 18, and that's a great ball from Flores. A shot had by Quill, saved by Sheely on the near post. Virginia Tech looking solid. He's called off sides, though, so it will be just a free kick for the Orange. Sheely either way, making sure that one's safe. Well done from him to get down and protect that near post.
Yeah, absolutely, Russell Sheely. Talked about it all night, but he's just proven why he is one of the best goalkeepers in the ACC and the country.
And Sheely clears this one all the way up to just about over half field. Curdy with 2 headers, falls back to Grant Howard. Howard taking his time, cuts back, goes the other way, and now it's McDowell with it. McDowell time to work on this left side. Looks like Flores is almost working as a left mid now. He goes inside to Kinua. Kinua all the way to the other side of the field to Howard. Virginia Tech moving the ball across the field well. Howard's pass to Pugh picked off by Olengule. Sinclair bobbles it in the midfield. Flores picks it up, and this is dangerous for the Hokies, but Olengule able to slow that one down and get the ball back for the Orange. He plays an outside of the foot pass up to Opoku. Opoku's able to find Singleman. Opoku back to Singleman. Singleman now working at half field. He's able to find Byros. Byros takes his time, turns, and he finds Labeled on the far side. Labeled looks to cut inside. He gets down the line. He's in the 18. Ball back to the 12. Cleared away by that looks like Deary. Olengule taking his time now. And now Schoberg going to just swing it back all the way to Sheely, and the Orange can reset. Now it's Abdi to Salim, the Buffalo, New York native, taking his time. Salim bobbles the ball, picked off by Quill. Salim gets back into a great slide tackle to save that one. Quill still working with it in the corner now. Quill finds Flores in the middle. Flores over to Pugh. Pugh with time in the middle at the 12. Shoots, saved by Sheely at the 18. And that one cleared away just as far as Byros. Byros able to clear it all the way up the field. Opoku can now work against Howard. Opoku has it. He's trying to get down the line. Howard doing well in pursuit on defense. And Howard just working on the back of Opoku. Gets a poke away, and that ball is cleared away by Opoku just as far as Yoshizawa at half field. And now Kinye tries to go for it, but picked off by Labeled. Labeled, bad pass just as far as number 6, Joyce. Joyce finds McDowell on the wing, and things are starting to slow down once again after that quick succession after the Abdi Salim mistake. Ball played all the way across the field to Yoshizawa. He has time to work against Labeled. Tries to have a go from outside the box. Nowhere near the target, so it will be a goal kick for Syracuse.
Yeah, Virginia Tech had what can only be described as just a golden opportunity at scoring a goal. As Connor Pugh had a window, but kind of backtracked for just too long, and it was enough for Sheely to set himself and make a great save on it. As you said, Salim made that mistake, but he did kind of make up for it as Quill nearly had a breakaway. It could have been an easy goal for Virginia Tech.
And Anthony Sinclair plays that one up to Levante Johnson's head. He tries to flick it onto Byros, but Kinua able to pick that one off. Now it's Grant Howard working up the line. He plays it, Labeled able to get in front of that pass, and Kinua plays it up to Howard. Howard flicks it on to number 13 for the Hokies, Hensley. Hensley tries to play Pugh in, but Schoberg's there to clear it away for a corner. 37 minutes left in this half, and it's been up and down already, Will.
Yeah, absolutely. Virginia Tech with probably the best opportunity they're going to get of the entire game and unable to capitalize. You got to think that had to be the opportunity for them to score and equalize this game. It was a big one, and surely they'll have more chances. A corner kick here for Virginia Tech, but they just got to be kicking themselves after not scoring.
Well, I'd almost argue that was the opportunity of the game with a wide open shot on the 12. Sheely making a great stop, and that corner was swung in, and Joyce tries to flick it on, but it heads over the bar. So Sheely will have, once again, another goal kick for the Orange. Virginia Tech really having the upper hand in things here at the start of this second half.
Yeah, and that's kind of the common theme for the game, because in the first half they were aggressors in the first few minutes, and then really in that middle part of the first half, or most of the first half of the 30-plus minutes, just didn't have much maintained possession, and the ball movement was just shut down by Syracuse defense and midfielders.
And Shealy pings that one past half field. It's flicked by a couple of Orangemen up to Opoku. Opoku drives, tries to get down the end line, but Deary able to poke it away at the last second for a Syracuse corner. Just like that, Syracuse is able to get back into the game. Just a couple of flicks off a goal kick, and Opoku's running at the goalie.
Yeah, absolutely. Opoku, Johnson, they're just so great, so quick up the field. And Syracuse, certainly the more talented team, just sometimes got to focus up and tap into that. So they'll have a corner and an opportunity to extend the lead out.
This ball played into the back post over everybody, labeled there to swing it back in. He has a go, hits the front side of the net. No good, so that will be a goal kick for Ben Martino, labeled trying his luck to get a second one on the board tonight and secure himself a brace.
Yeah, as we talked about, after that first goal he had, he was really feeling himself. Did a couple of dribble moves and nearly had another shot on goal that was just blocked by a Hokie in that first half. It's about a few minutes after. So he's just really playing with supreme confidence now as Leopold, even though the goal today was only his second of the season.
And it's Martino who swings that one up. Pugh flicks it on. Abdi Salim holding the knee that he did tear the ACL of. He looks to be all right, though, as he gets back up, as he was hit by Quill on the way out of bounds there. They shake hands. Good to see Salim all right. Abdi Salim, a player I've actually known for a long time and I've played with. One of those guys who you can only describe as a freak of nature. He really can do it all. He jumps about over everybody he goes over a header for, and he also is very technical with his feet. Now the ball bobbled around. Anthony Sinclair able to play over to Leopold on the other side. He just has to clear that one as he was pressured right away. And Deary tries to find Quill, but Quill knew he was offside, so he lets this one roll out of bounds. It's going to be Curdy to throw it in for the Orange in their defensive third. Curdy throws it up, and that one poked out of bounds by McDowell. Orange ball once again, and Curdy's going to throw this in once again for the Orange. Ball slips out of Curdy's hand. You can tell it's been pouring all night by that. Curdy throws it forward, flicked on by McDowell, and Byros tries to play Upoku in, unable to connect though. And now it's played long. Schoberg wins that one over Pugh. And Kalov plays Byros. Byros goes forward to Leibold. He's got some speed, but Grant Howard does as well. Leibold cuts inside. Now he goes back outside. Has a hit way over the goal. Nowhere near on target. Ben Martino didn't even have to move for that one, as he once again will have a goal kick for Virginia Tech.
Leibold continues to feel himself with another shot that's just wide, but it's really been his fourth overall just attack and shot on near the goal.
And Martino pings this one up past half field, flicked on by Quill all the way to Shealy, who's going to play this one forward. Finds some space towards the Syracuse bench. It's Kalov and Grant Howard going for it, but Grant Howard's much faster than Kalov in that race. He's able just to shield this one out of bounds for a Hokie throw-in at just about midfield.
Yeah, great job to angle that back out of bounds by Howard. His defense has been spectacular, not only today, but overall in the season. Just one of the high-impact freshmen on this Tech team that's just made a difference.
And now it's Joyce going forward with it. He finds McDowell. McDowell plays a 1-2 to Flores, but Anthony Sinclair says, "No, thank you, sir." He finds Byros on the other side. Byros beats his man, Kenyua. Now Kenyua trying to track back. It's Kalov. Kalov has a hit from the 6. Saved by Martino. Flicked off of Joyce and back into the hands of Martino. Martino, quick throw out to Quill. Abdi Salim there to defend. Quill turns Salim around. And once again, Sinclair able just to pick it off in the midfield for the Orange. And he's followed by Quill in the process. So the Orange will have a free kick about 60 yards out from the goal.
Yeah, Anthony Sinclair, the midfielder for Syracuse, has just been one of those big reasons why the Orange have been able to just deflect. Anytime Virginia Tech has had possession, they just haven't had sustained possession over the ball for more than just a few seconds for most of this game, and a big reason why has been because of the play of Sinclair and the rest of those middle guys.
And Schoiberg just plays a quick pass to Kalov. Kalov turns, tries to play it to the corner, and Labeled actually able to pick it up. Plays it over to Kalov. Once again, Kalov followed by Danny Flores. So this one will almost be a corner at a sense, just about 10 yards away from the corner flag up the sideline. So it will be a Syracuse free kick. Looks like Labeled goes to take it. It'll be played just like a corner from the Virginia Tech defense. They have Labeled and Kalov over it. They've thrown everyone into the box except for Olyan Julie. Ball played in by Kalov. Low cross. Cleared away by Howard all the way past midfield. Olyan Julie taking his time to get there. He turns. He finds Labeled. Labeled instantly pressured by 3 Hokies, and he decides to go back to Shealy and let things reset. Shealy goes big, tries to find the head of Opoku. Opoku goes to flick it on, but it just gets over him. And now it's Grant Howard with it in the Virginia Tech defense. He finds Joyce on the other side. Joyce plays it up the left wing. Abdi Salim running after it with Quill very slow in pursuit, knowing he won't get to that one. Shealy decides to clear it up large once again. Byros flicks it on. Kalov flicks it on to Opoku. Opoku takes a touch. He goes back to Kalov. Bad pass. But Opoku able to get back in it. Advantage played by the ref on the foul there. Flores, great bit of skill there to keep the ball. He plays it down the left wing to McDowell, but Schoiberg able to get in front of that, and Shealy comes out and recovers it.
You see great athleticism there by Shealy. He's certainly been one to charge out of his stationed area in that furthest box, their defending zone, and just go and make athletic plays, sliding, just punching the ball out, and then booming it back into center.
And the wind really showing there as that ball almost holds up at midfield. And now Flores has it for the Hokies. He beats Sinclair there. He's got space to work. And he turns, scans his options. He's able to find Quill. Quill tries to work down this left sideline. Salim defending. Abdi Salim still there. Quill ball in. Cleared away by Schoberg. Abdi Salim able to get it out of the box. Byros tries to flick it on. Kenyua able to recover it. Kenyua finds McDowell. McDowell back to Kenyua. Kenyua is going to play this to Flores in the middle of the field. Flores goes back to this left side. Tries to play it down the line to McDowell, but Curdy able to recover it. Flores, a great interception there from Curdy. Flores goes to McDowell. McDowell working on the left side of this 18. Goes back to Flores, and Flores now moving his way just about the ACC logo. Goes to Kenyua. Kenyua trying to turn his defender Byros. Unable to, so he goes back to Deary. Deary drives forward in the middle of the field. Able to find Quill. Quill keeps it. Finds Flores at this left side once again. Flores goes to McDowell. McDowell drives down the line. Cross swung in. Yoshizawa settles. Has a go. Blocked away by the Syracuse Orangemen. Cleared up the line. Kalov tries to stay with it. And Kalov just clears that one. And Deary's going to hit this all the way to a Syracuse goal kick. 27 minutes left in this second half. A lot of excitement on both sides, very up and down.
Yeah, absolutely, back and forth. As you've seen, no team has been able to gain sustained possession of the ball too much. Syracuse has done more than Virginia Tech in that area in terms of possession, obviously. Hence why they have a 1-0 lead and have had opportunities for more, but Tech still standing strong and in position.
And Syracuse able to flick that goal kick all the way up to Opoku. Opoku now working in the middle of the field. He's going to try and play a through ball to Byros. Opoku still has it after the clearance by Virginia Tech. Now he goes to Byros. Byros is going to play Curdy. Curdy ball into the middle of the box and scored by, who is that? Noah Singelman. Number 4, able to get a foot on that right in the Virginia Tech 6. And what a finish. What a goal. And some great buildup off a goal kick for Syracuse to make it Syracuse 2, Virginia Tech 0 with 27 minutes left in the second half.
Yeah, just as we say, Virginia Tech's hanging in there with Syracuse. That happens. Just an absolute beautiful ball And Singleman with the finish, really an easy one. As you see, Ben Martino is extremely frustrated with his defense. Looked to have some harsh words for his defensemen in Kanua and Deary and Flores, as they were just not able to deflect the Syracuse attack. And so that makes it a 2-0 game, and clearly can't say it's insurmountable. 27 minutes left to play, but based on the amount of opportunities that Virginia Tech has been awarded in this game, it's going to be really tough to overcome, especially considering the conditions as well.
Will, they do say in soccer that a 2-0 lead is the hardest to defend. Virginia Tech's going to clear this kickoff forward, and it's actually Danny Flores trying to get there. Ball played forward. Byros turns. And Ahmed makes a tackle. So now Ahmed goes forward. He's still going. And Oyunjuni comes up with a big tackle on that one. Now it's McDowell playing it over to Kinua. Kinua finds Flores. Flores taking his time, scanning as he normally does. He's really a facilitator for this Virginia Tech offense. And Flores turns his man. He gets past Singleman, but Singleman able to recover. Now Flores working with it in the corner of the right side of the field. Finds Kinua 1-2, but Flores offsides. So Syracuse will have a free kick from that far side of the right field.
You got to think if you're Syracuse now, do you continue to play aggressive or conservative? You said a 2-0 lead is a tough one, but considering the conditions and how they've played overall, certainly one that maybe Syracuse can play loose for just a bit.
And Shealy just clears that out of bounds at just about half field, so Ahmed will have a throw-in for the Hokies on the right side of the pitch. Taking his time to get this one in. Ahmed finally gets it into Flores, but cleared away by Oyunjuni for another throw-in. Ahmed throws this one into Quill. Quill turns, tries to find Kinua. Kinua unable to receive it. Opoku might get through, but Grant Howard's just quick enough to play this one back to Martino. Martino tries to clear it up, but Byros able to take a touch and settle it. And Opoku's actually going to find himself offsides on that one. So Virginia Tech will have a free kick at just about the edge of the 18. Martino will come out to take it.
Yeah. I believe that's Syracuse's first offsides of today's match, compared to 2 for Virginia Tech at the very least. Not too many for either side.
And Martino hits this one up. The wind really carrying that. And Ahmed takes a touch, settles it, finds Yoshizawa. Yoshizawa plays Flores. Can Flores turn? He does. Has it go. Saved by Shealy. Just as far as number 11, Starr. Starr tries to play it in. Quill unable to get a touch. Schoberg clears. Starr with it once again. Ahmed on the edge of the 18. He's going to play Kinua. Kinua working on that right side. Goes back to Ahmed. Ahmed room to cross. But Oyunjuni clears it away for a throw-in. Once again, Virginia Tech, a brilliant opportunity. Right there, Danny Flores unable to get past Shealy.
Absolutely. It's just so tough to score against Russell Shealy. He's been absolute dynamite in goal for the Orange. So that was easily one that could have been in the back of the net if it wasn't for just a diving save going across his body.
And Quill throws this one in, long throw in. Gets it to Deary. Sinclair clears it. Goes forward to Kalov, and you have labeled a speedy player going against Grant Howard. This is a race of speed right here. Grant Howard with the advantage on space and time. He's able to play this one to Joyce. Joyce goes forward up the left side, but that's Starr who finds himself offsides.
Maybe Virginia Tech's third offside, as you said. So that matchup between Leopold, who's been ultra confident today, and Grant Howard, who's arguably been Virginia Tech's best player today with his excellent defense, deflecting so many opportunities Syracuse could have potentially had.
Yeah, once again, Grant Howard, a guy who really just shuts down everything that goes his way. He slipped on that goal by Leopold, and that's really the only reason Syracuse was able to get that first goal. And now it's McDowell able to pick up that free kick. He just clears it away. Flores showing some frustration that he wasn't able to get there in time. And it will be a throw-in for Curdy. Curdy throws it down the line. It's Kalov. Kalov tries to swing it in. McDowell with a brilliant display of defense there. Once again, throwing for Curdy. Curdy's going to play it into Kalov. Kalov back to Curdy. Now Kalov tries to get up on it. He takes a touch over to Byros. Byros back to Kalov. Kalov tries to get it back to Byros, but McDowell reads it before Byros does, and it will be a Virginia Tech goal kick. Some tiki-taka there from the Orange. McDowell able to pick up on it. Now it's Ben Martino getting ready to take this goal kick. Rain still pouring on these defenders. 21 minutes and 40 seconds left in this game. Martino hits it up over the head of almost everybody. Abdi Salim flicks it away. Flores tried to get there. And now Curdy is going to clear this one forward for the Orange. Byros can't see it. Opoku settles. Opoku turns. He's got space. He tries to chip one over the top to Curdy. Curdy gets a touch at the edge of the 18. Has a hit just over the bar. Ben Martino unable to get a hand to it. Curdy asking for a foul. No call given, so that will be a Virginia Tech goal kick once again. Curdy almost making it 3-0 on that one.
Absolutely, Curdy sees an opportunity and nearly takes full advantage as Ben Martino had to go sky high to nearly tip it. If it was angled just a little bit lower, it would have been interesting to see if it had just slipped by or if Ben Martino could have just laced a finger on it.
And Syracuse makes their first sub of the half. It's Byros coming off for Baselli. And then that goal kick played forward, cleared out of bounds by the Orange at half field. So McDowell has it on this left side. He throws it into Flores. Flores takes his time, goes all the way to the other side of the field to Grant Howard with some room to work. Opoku quick in defense, though. And now it's Ahmed. Bad pass, picked off by Baselli, the sub. And Kalov's able to turn. He's got room. Kalov scans the field, finds Olian Juni. Juni plays up to Leopold. Leopold turns Ahmed. Leopold now rushing down this left side of the field for the Orange. Leopold going to play across into the front post. Upoku gets a touch, called offside, so it wouldn't matter. Ben Martino still able to make a great save.
Absolutely, Martino been put in tough positions when he's allowed these two goals. Really everything that's been clear and obvious for him to stop, he's absolutely done his job. Some of his defense has just been putting him in harm's way, and that's how Syracuse got in the two goals. So I wouldn't say you could really rack up the mistakes for Virginia Tech on defense and what they've allowed to Ben Martino primarily, that is.
And this goal kick cleared away by number 17, Leopold, and it will be a throw-in for the Hokies at just about half field on the right side of the pitch. They throw this ball in. It's Quill with it. Quill goes quickly back to Joyce. Joyce back to Quill. Quill finds Ahmed. And it's kicked out of bounds. It'll be number 13, Hensley, for the Hokies to throw it forward. He finds Starr. Starr tries to get past Olian Juni. He does. Plays it back out to Quill. Goes back to Kunua. Kunua finds McDowell. McDowell with some room to work here. McDowell goes all the way across the field. Ahmed has a go. Scratch that. That was Yoshizawa having a hit, but an easy save for Sheely. It was right down the center of the goal.
Yeah, not too much velocity there, or maybe just a symptom of the ball being so wet, wasn't able to just lift that one into the air. Probably Sheely's easiest stop of the day.
And Sheely punts this one up all the way past half field, and ooh, that's got to be a foul as Deary runs through the back of Kalov. Kalov gets up fine, though. He plays quick to Singleman. Singleman not happy with that one from Kalov because he was put straight into pressure. Orange able to keep it, though, as it's Baselli running down the line. Baselli gets down that left sideline, cuts back. And Kalov has it. He turns, crosses it in, straight to the hands of Martino. Ben Martino making sure his players can get up. 17 minutes left in this game. The Hokies going to need a miracle if they want to get a goal back and get back into this one, even possibly win it. Sheely clears it away. That wind's really pulling that ball back on these clearances. Baselli's going to run down the left touchline now for the Orange, but Kunua and Howard there to defend. And Yoshizawa clears it away for the Hokies, so it'll be a Syracuse Orange throw-in just in front of their bench, labeled to throw it in. That ball slips out of Labeled's hands, picked up by Hensley, but Flores bad touch. Anthony Sinclair caught on the edge of that one from Flores.
Partner, this game is getting extremely ugly right now, as we've seen. Players just not able to get control of the ball. Guys diving all over the field just because slipping on this wet grass. And also now as Leopold was just not even able to throw it 5 feet in front of him because the ball just slipped out of his hands.
Yeah, like you said. I mean, it's been raining for what, the past 4 hours today? The field's definitely wet.
It's been all day here. It's been raining most of the day here in Blacksburg, but certainly picking back up in the second half after the first half. The first 20 minutes of this game was relatively clean. I mean, it was windy for sure, but not too much rain.
We jump back into this game. It's Baselli getting to the 6. Cleared away. Baselli actually takes a big touch there, and it'll be a Ben Martino goal kick. But, yeah, like you were saying, I mean, you see a lot of more bad touches, guys slipping everywhere, a lot more fouls being caused because of it, because no one can really get their footing in the ground. Guy's not able to throw a ball in. It's definitely a wet and wild one out here.
And the conditions have been we talked about in the pregame how if this was a muddy game, favors Virginia Tech. It's just that it hasn't been tied, and they haven't taken a lead. Obviously, they have 0 goals, so they haven't been able to play towards these more favorable wet and muggy conditions because they haven't taken advantage of a few golden opportunities they've had, and Syracuse has had more opportunities than they've been able to capitalize twice.
And now it's Flores with it in the middle of the field for the Hokies. He finds McDowell on the other side. McDowell turns, tries to beat Curdy, goes back to Joyce. Joyce going to open up. He plays Quill in the middle of the field. Quill turns with a lot of room to work. Sinclair steps to him, finds Flores. Flores turns, has it go. That one almost outside the 18, goes out for a goal kick.
Once again, Flores, clearly a lot of frustration. I think it's mainly just because of how uncontrollable the ball is because of how wet the surface is, both on the grass and for the soccer ball. And if I had to bet with 15 minutes remaining because of how muggy these conditions have become, it's looking like there are probably not going to be any more goals just based on the shots that both teams have had in these last 10 minutes.
Yeah, and Sheely just hits this goal kick out of bounds. Once again, the wet conditions making it impossible for these guys to actually play a decent ball, as McDowell's going to throw this one in for the Hokies. He throws it in all the way to Flores. Flores tucks under it because it almost hit him in the head. Quill gets it. Quill tries to turn with it. Picked off by Baselli. Baselli's going to play Labeled. Labeled just wants to run forward, but Grant Howard quicker, able to get to that one. Cleared out of bounds for the Hokies, so it will be a Syracuse throw-in in the attacking third. Labeled will take it on this left side. Labeled throws it into Baselli. Baselli turns. Cleared away by Grant Howard. Once again, Grant Howard just a strong defensive stand. Baselli throws it into Opoku. Opoku plays a back heel pass. Cleared away by Grant Howard just as far as Opoku once again, who picks it up. Opoku gets down this left side, cuts back. Picked up by Kalov. Kalov swings a ball in to the 12. No one there except for Kenua. Kenua plays forward to Flores. And Anthony Sinclair, once again, showing a touch of class as he's able to just slow things down for Syracuse and win him the ball back. Now it's Russell Sheely with it. He plays forward, finds Singelman's feet. Singelman takes his time and turns. He goes all the way up to Kalov. Kalov now plays forward to Singelman, bombing towards that corner of the field, but Grant Howard once again showing why he is some class. And that ball kicked away by Baselli. It will be a Virginia Tech throw-in in their defensive third.
It looks like Connor Pugh checking back in for the Hokies. He had an opportunity later in that first half to really score a goal for the Hokies, but was unable as he kind of backtracked on it and allowed Sheely to make a great save earlier.
And Connor Pugh makes his way back onto the field for the Hokies. Quill's now going to open up in the middle of the field. Sinclair once again intercepting this one, and now it's Baselli going forward. Baselli has it go, cleared away by Joyce. Christian Curdy will have a throw in here in the attacking third on the right side for the Orange. He throws this one in. Curdy taking his time, scanning his options. Goes to Baselli. Baselli into a Poku. Joyce with some brilliant defending. Now it's Danny Flores with it going forward. He finds Hensley all the way on the other side for the Hokies. Quill turns. Oyunjuni quick enough to get back on track with it. And that's going to be a foul as Oyunjuni pulls Quill down. So the Hokies will have a free kick about 40 yards out from the goal, just on the edge of the attacking third. It'll be Hensley over it. He goes back to Kenua. Kenua opens up, plays across the field to Joyce. McDowell goes wide. And now it's McDowell versus Curdy, a matchup we've seen very frequently in this second half. Joyce back on it. He tries to go forward, but Baselli able to get in front of it. And Joyce able to shield that one out. And it will be a Virginia Tech throw-in. Once again in the middle third of the field on this right side. And Yoshizawa goes forward. Scratch that. This is the left side. My fault. Connor Pugh goes down into the box. Abdi Salim with a brilliant tackle clears this one away. And the foul called on Connor Pugh. Abdi Salim doing a great job there. And it'll be Russell Shealy to take the free kick in his own box, just on the edge of the 18.
Yeah, you get the feeling here that Syracuse can kind of play a little bit loose and relaxed more than they have so far in this game. I always want to keep your guard up to a high degree, but with the 2-0 lead in the conditions as they are and the amount of times that Syracuse have been able to deflect off Tech's possessions, they have to feel comfortable about where they are right now.
Now it's labeled swinging it across. This one bounces out to the 18. Curdy on it. He goes to Singleman. Singleman plays it down the line to Baselli. And that one straight to the hands. That cross straight to the hands of Ben Martino.
Yeah, Baselli maybe trying to catch Martino, lacking a little bit, but Martino doesn't bite whatsoever.
Ben Martino taking his time, letting his players get up. We just hit the 10-minute mark left in this second half. 2-0 still your score. Syracuse up. And Hensley throws this one into Quill. Quill tries to turn. Quill plays it over to Deary. Picked off by Kalov. Kalov running at Ben Martino now. Deary able to get back on it alongside Grant Howard. Goes to Opoku. Opoku, Maradona in the middle of the box. Still on it. Deary in front of it. Deary able to do a great job at just fixing his mistake. As now it's McDowell trying to get out of his own corner. It's Curdy defending, and that one will be cleared off Curdy, so it will be a Virginia Tech goal kick.
Yeah, it was a remarkable job by Deary to get back as Opoku went spin cycle there on him. And Deary still able to recover. As Opoku lost a man doing that. And sells a call a little bit to give a goal kick for the Hokies.
And Ben Martino lines up to take this one. Labeled comes off for Syracuse. Anthony Sinclair heads this one forward off the goal kick. Kyle McDowell plays it down the left side. Quill is there, but just as far as Schoberg, Quill was offside anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered. It's Abdi Salim to take the goal kick. Shealy calls him off it. Moves his players up the field. Cheech Pagano will come back on for the Orange. A very long-term friend of mine, being a Syracuse, New York native. I've played with him for many years. Known him all throughout high school. He's never been able to dribble past me or score on me. Russell Shealy plays this one forward. I just needed that clip to send him. And it's Anthony Sinclair with it. He goes to Curdy. Curdy tries to get down the sideline. McDowell able to get in front of him. The two of them have just had each other's number all night. Flores chips this one forward to Yoshizawa. Yoshizawa finds Kenua. Over to Flores. This is the best passing we've seen out of the Hokies all night. Flores still going with it. Plays it forward to Quill. Quill turns. He's got some room. All the way over to Yoshizawa on the far side. Abdi Salim to defend. Yoshizawa finds himself on the left side of the 18. Yoshizawa cuts back. Decides to recycle it to McDowell. McDowell back over to Yoshizawa. Abdi Salim in front of him. Yoshizawa cuts inside, has a go. Blocked by Abdi Salim. Anthony Sinclair picks it up, tries to clear it away. Yoshizawa blocks it, and Yoshizawa pulls Anthony Sinclair down, so it will be a free kick for the Orange.
Like I said, despite all that crisp passing from Virginia Tech, maybe I think it's a little too late. Didn't see that from most of this game. Syracuse still able to just control and focus in on the back line and just keep it steady and not allow any, even a quality shot on goal.
And rushes. Sheely hits this one forward. Flicked on by Baselli. Kaloff picks it up. He plays number 19, Schoiberg, and that's a goal. Opoku gets on the end of it. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, a little bit of confusion. That cross, Opoku gets on the end of it, and that makes it Syracuse 3, Virginia Tech 0. I'll try and watch the replay for you and give you a better call. Ball crossed in from the left side. Opoku gets in front of his man. One-touch finish into the back of Ben Martino's net. Opoku just showing a little bit of class to be able to get a touch on that before Grant Howard.
Yeah, that's absolutely going to be the dagger here from Thompson Field, as you see a few fans starting to pack it up and move on with their Friday night. Now that it's 3-0 Syracuse, and partner, I believe your pregame score prediction was 3-0.
It was 3-0.
Mine was
that is
3-1.
correct.
So I need so far you look to be correct, but if Virginia Tech can get a last hurrah goal, we'll see.
And it was Byros on that cross for the Orange, so he is credited with the assist. And now Byros once again to throw this ball in. He throws it all the way up to Baselli, cleared away by Kenyua. And a substitution being made now, as it is Anthony Sinclair coming off, and that is number 23 for the Orange, Jackson Glenn, coming on. Jackson Glenn, a junior. Now it's Cheech Pagano working down this left side of the field. Grant Howard hot in pursuit. Cheech plays across all the way to Jackson Glenn. He has a go. Saved by Ben Martino. And shielded out for a corner by the Orange. Syracuse keeping the pressure on with 5 minutes and 54 seconds left in this game.
Yeah, Syracuse not taking my advice whatsoever. They're just playing aggressive, not sitting on their laurels at all. Trying to add insult to injury and make it 4-0. Why not? It helps your margin of victory out. Just play to the final bell tolls.
And Kaloff swings this one in. It's Curdy at the front post trying to flick it on, but he flicks it over the bar. That's his third header that he is connected with on a corner tonight. None of them able to go in. Two were off target. One a great save by Ben Martino, who will be getting himself another goal kick as we hit the 5-minute mark left in this second half.
Yeah, certainly Curdy wants to have a couple of those headers back, especially that one that happened right after Martino's excellent save. That was probably one routine for him. One of those he kind of makes all the time in practice and in games.
And Sheely just clears this one away after the Hokies try and get a quick attack. That ball bounces off the bleachers back into the field of play.
Yeah, that one looked zooming all the way near towards us.
I know. I was kind of hoping we'd get a souvenir.
Yeah, quick open up the window, grab it.
And McDowell is going to throw this one in, scanning for options. Nothing really there for him yet. And he throws it forward to number 17 for the Hokies, Blacklock, but Syracuse picks it up. Foul called. Advantage won't be played. A little interesting there, as Syracuse was kind of on a counterattack there. So it will be a free kick. Abdi Salim will take it. He's just going to switch the field. All the way switching the field is Baselli, tackled by Grant Howard just in time. Grant Howard, once again, just a class act at right back, honestly. And it will be a throw-in for the Orange after that. Ball thrown in, 3:43 left on the clock. And it's thrown into Singleman. Singleman tries to turn. He does. He's at the edge of the 18. He's going to play. That looks to be Baselli in. Baselli tries to play this one to Cheech Pagano in the middle of the box, but it's cleared away by McDowell. Scratch that. That was Joyce. My apologies. They both have the blue cleats. It's been throwing me off all night.
Yeah, absolutely around the same height and weight. Around the same, especially with these conditions, tough to get the name recall on this game.
And Cheech Pagano tries to hold it in the corner, but it's taken away by the Hokies. It's Yoshizawa on it. He's fouled, so he'll play it forward. Virginia Tech trying to play quick, but there's really nothing for him, so Yoshizawa will walk away from it and leave it for Grant Howard. Grant Howard plays it big all the way to Connor Pugh. Connor Pugh flicks it on. This is looking like a good chance for the Hokies. It's Starr on the right side now. Starr tries to get by Oyunjuni. He clears it away for a corner. Virginia Tech finds themselves with a corner with 2:30 left on the clock. 3-0 still your score. The second half, time ticking down. Ball played in, front post. Abdi Salim leaping about 7 feet into the air to head that one down. And Buster Showman heads it away, but Yoshizawa picks it up, and that will for sure be a foul. Right in front of the corner once again. Baselli just getting Yoshizawa's leg as he makes the move. Just a nice little flip flat from Yoshizawa. Virginia Tech plays quick. It's Kanyua at the edge of the 18. Baselli makes up for his mistake, gets a touch on that one. Kanyua still has it, though, working down this right side. Plays it to McDowell, coming all the way across the field. McDowell trying to get inside. He prefers his left foot. He cuts back to it, poked away. Syracuse has it. He's fouled by McDowell. That's Baselli, so it will be a Syracuse free kick with 1:45 left on the clock. Russell Shealy will walk his way over for this free kick. No hurry for him. He's got to be absolutely ecstatic to keep another clean sheet this season.
Yeah, absolutely. Shealy, one of the best goalkeepers in the ACC. Big reason why the Orange first in goals allowed in terms of the fewest. And that save percentage is going to go even up from where it is, around 88%.
And this ball flicked forward to Cheech Pagano. Grant Howard, once again, showing some class. He commits a foul off of Cheech, goes to play it forward, nothing there for him. So he just plays short to McDowell, who still hasn't made his way across the field. This one headed forward by the Orange once again. And it's Joyce to play it back to Martino. Martino going to play a big ball up. Curdy trying to head it. Yoshizawa able to touch it away. And Abdi Salim there to be the brick wall that he is and clear it out of bounds. McDowell to throw it in. He finds Yoshizawa, but Curdy there. And McDowell pokes that one out of bounds. So it will be a throw-in for the Orange. Abdi Salim to take it. 30 seconds left on the clock. Abdi Salim can't pick the ball up. It's too wet. And now he dries it off with his shirt. Abdi Salim throws it forward. McDowell takes a touch off the chest, tries to play it forward. Abdi Salim able to head this one forward, though. And now it falls into the midfield. 15 seconds left on the clock. And it will be Blacklock to try and make something happen as he finds Starr. But Starr is picked off by Oyunjuni. Oyunjuni plays it forward. Great catch there by Sean Lawler, one of the coaches for Syracuse, the assistant coach. And that will be the end of the game, ladies and gentlemen. 3-0 your final score. Number 7, Syracuse moves their record all the way to 8-1-1, coming back after the loss to UVA last week, whereas Virginia Tech, another loss to their record, 1-8-1. And Virginia Tech will be facing on ETSU on Tuesday at ETSU, whereas Syracuse will take on Cornell at home on October 4th. Will, what are your thoughts about the game just before we wrap things up?
Well, it was a tough one for Virginia Tech on their side. They, wanted to play this muggy and grimy game, and that's what it was for a lot. It's just the problem is, Grant Howard lost his balance a little bit, slipped, and then just the speed of Levante Johnson was able to carry it home and pass on to Leopold, and it was just a one-timer into the back of the net, a little tough for Martino to handle. And then after that, it just seemed like it was tough for Virginia Tech. The opportunities were few and far between. Pugh had a shot at one and it really kind of didn't have the confidence to really just let it go and It's a big reason why is because of Russell Shealy. He's been absolutely stellar. It was tonight. We saw why he's one of the country's best goalkeepers. Absolutely. And a couple goals that were tacked on for Syracuse in the second half was really just the insult to the injury and really the cherry on the cake to say. And Syracuse moving on to 8-1-1. They bounced back after a tough loss to Virginia, despite not having one of their best players in this game. And so it's a good bounce-back win for Syracuse, able to set them up for the rest of their schedule and continue as a top 10 team in the country. And for Virginia Tech, I mean, certainly some good things to take away, but overall it is still a loss in the loss column, and you'll have to move on and face a couple of road tests. ETSU and then North Carolina and Chapel Hill will be a big one to see if the Hokies can get their season back on track.
So once again, ladies and gentlemen, 3-0 your final score. The Syracuse Orange come to Thompson Field and take down the Virginia Tech Hokies. For Will Locklin, I'm Robert Bateman. Thank you for turning into 3304 Sports. Have a great night.